104 perhaps of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, setting the tone with Johnny B. Good, the classic Chuck Berry, not to be confused with the jam that Marty McFly dialed into in the Under the Sea Dance 1955, Enchantment Under the Sea Dance. Guys, we got a great show for you. If you're looking to stay current on the top cyber news stories of the day while being educated, entertained, and having a great time with like-minded professionals, you're in the right place. That's what we're doing every single day here at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. Get ready, get your coffee, and get ready to jam out as we cover the news, have some fun, have some jokes, and then do a cyber mentor session at the end. We got a locked and loaded schedule for you. I hope you're ready. Let's cook. All right, good morning. So real quick, I did not hear the audio of the video that played, so let me know if you can hear. Well, you could definitely hear Johnny B. Good because I see chat digging on that. Let me know if you can hear the sound effects. Little Ric Flair action. No, not a rough night. Listen, not a rough night at all. Guys, I normally gel my hair. My hair has reached a tipping point. I'm getting a haircut today. It's a long story. I will be happy to tell everyone about it. My son would be embarrassed, but I'm happy to tell everyone about it and embarrass him. But details to follow. Just no gel in the hair. This is free range Jerry. All right, guys. Hey, listen, every episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CP. So say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. You are part of the show. You appear right above me. And it's as easy as that to say hello. Get in here. Let's have a good time. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my camera angle just a little bit because it's bothering me. Come on. No. All right, we got to use the arrow keys to get it fine-tuned. There we go. That's nice. Now let's go ahead and dial back this little piece. Oh, doesn't it just feel right when it hits? All right. All right. Guys, listen. Every episode, half a CP, say what's up, grab a screenshot, file it away once a year. It is worth 120 CPs. Once a year, you count up those screenshots. Those screenshots are just evidence. You don't need them in order to... Hold on, did I do this? Yeah. You don't need them in order to get the CPs. They're just evidence in case you're ever audited. It's simple as that. You know, the GRC Mafia comes in and audits you. Guys, I also want to say shout out. Holla to DJ B-Sec in the chat, TJ in the chat, Itchy Beef in the chat. Guys, if today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer. Hashtag first timer. Basically, type it into the chat box in your app, or if you're watching on TV, I know it's painful, use the little remote, go over, and painfully type in hashtag first timer. You get a shout out, you get a sound effect, you get several people, hundreds of people in chat dropping emotes for you. It's all about good times here at Simply Cyber, and we work hard, but we play hard. Honestly, cybersecurity is a very serious industry and a very serious matter. We are basically the Night's Watch of corporate, interests or corporate America and businesses, organizations. And if we took ourselves seriously all the time, there'd probably be statistics that we're not super pumped about associated with our industry. So we have to lighten the burden a bit and have some fun with it. So that's what we do here every day. Robert Morris, 3D, first timer. TJ's not a first timer, but I will say, what's up, Robert Morris? Hey, what's up, Sigil 7? We got Sigil 7, also a first timer in the chat. Guys, if you can, at Robert Morris and at Sigil 7, drop the John McClane emotes. I'll do it myself right here. It is a Friday, so we're having a little bit of a goof around. Oh my God. You know what I hate? Son of a gun. Technology was supposed to be our savior, and it just adds complexity. Oh, Hayden. Hayden's in the chat. Hayden, what's up, dude? Good to see you. quick shout out to Hayden Covington. I want everyone to know, if you have enjoyed the job interview series, the GRC analyst job interview series, like basically we do interview questions for junior, mid, and senior level practitioners, and then give constructive feedback. We have a SOC analyst series coming out. Eric Capuano joined me yesterday for about an hour and a half, and just doing constructive feedback. Hayden Covington was the senior practitioner in there. Man, Eric was brutal on him. Wow. I'm joking. Hayden crushed it. Okay, guys, first timers, CPEs. Hey, listen, we're going to go through 8 stories. You know how many I've researched and prepared for? 0.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right. First of all, every practitioner should be doing this every single day. Frankly, that's why cyber is a lifestyle. And I don't research or prep. I wouldn't research and prep if I was doing this with the camera off. So I've got 20 plus years of experience. I will be able to ingest the material, so we're all on the same page. But then diving into that 20 plus years of experience, I'll give additional insights and value that you wouldn't get from a textbook or a classroom or anything like that. Basically, mentorship from people who have lived it. And the cool thing is, Simply Cyber, the community right here, hashtag Team SC, as you see Terrence Billingsley representing. We collectively have thousands of years of cyber experience. It's pretty dope. And you get super value from here, which is why people show up and have a good time. I also want to say shout out to the people on Spotify. There has been an uncoordinated surge of people who are listening on Spotify reaching out to me and letting me know that they do listen on Spotify. So Seattle, I don't want to dox you, but hey, Seattle, good morning, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Also, they're big fans of me describing the infographics. Just a little fun fact. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is sponsored, and I'm very proud of that. Being able to bring this show to you without sweating how the bills are going to get paid. Let me tell you about anti-siphon training. Go to anti-siphontraining.com now. You can register for next week, April 6th. John Strand, a Mount Rushmore face. Coincidence that he also lives in South Dakota. Coincidence. A Mount Rushmore of cybersecurity. This guy gives back like, I don't know. This guy gives back like the tattoo in Red Dragon? I don't know. What's something that's like a back? I don't know. Anyways, SOC core skills, 4 days, 16 hours of training. You can take it for as little as $0. If you want to have a little skin in the game, you can pay $25. It is pay what you can. It is an awesome hands-on, lab-driven, with lectures to complement, 16-hour, week-long course. Next week, you can register right now. I'll drop a link in chat. I can tell you, I know John Strand. I consider John Strand a friend. John Strand is all about community, leveling people up, and knocking down gates. Believe me. And if you don't know John Strand, I'm super pumped that I'm the one to get to introduce you to him. Also want to talk about Flair. Woo! Flair. Give me a Ric Flair. Oh, that seems very on brand. Ric Flair. All right, guys. Flair is a cyber threat intelligence platform. Everybody I've talked to that is a practitioner says within about 30 seconds of using this platform, you realize how powerful it is. If you want insights from the dark web, cyber criminal underground, really inform your threat modeling and your risk calculations, dude, Flair is stop one on the train. They allow you to access all of the data that they go and curate from the dark web and cyber criminal underground, all the info stealers, all that information, your domains hacked, your Kevins and Carls hacked, your Aunt Dorotheas of the world. Guys, find out before the threat actors take action on that information. Go to simplycyber.io /Flair, simplycyber.io/Flair now, and you will drop to a landing page that basically has a form to fill out. The form is not to sign up to get the platform. The form is to sign up so that you can be verified as a legit good person, right? So they're not giving access to this platform to a criminal. Once you get in there, you're good to go. I'm telling you, if you have a thought in chat on Flair as a platform, good or bad, drop it in chat. I promise you, I love this, and I'm super glad that they're a sponsor because I'd be telling you about it anyways. It's just awesome that they want to support the channel and support the community. simplycyber.io/Slayer. Finally, let's talk ThreatLocker. You know ThreatLocker, I know ThreatLocker, but ThreatLocker is just continuing to lean in to supporting Simply Cyber. They take a deny by default approach to cybersecurity, and now they have brought it from the endpoint, your workstation, all the way up into the cloud. They just launched that back in February. Let's hear from ThreatLocker, and then I'm going to melt your face. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, friends. The TV decided, I'm going to say the show's operating at 95% capacity since like we've lost the cool screensaver thing in the back here. I can't speak to this. Like this thing installed Copilot the other day for some stupid reason. I'm not bitter about it. All right, guys, do me a favor. Carrie, Terrence Billingsley, Phil Stafford, Bubba Jones. Yeah, 3 ads for a podcast. Yeah, dude. We get some love here. I hope you enjoy the show, Bubba Jones. And not just ads. Companies and products that I actually use and like. Do me a favor, Bubba Jones. Sit back. Phil Stafford, relax. And Tasha Miles, I need you to let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us. In an awesome wave, I will see you at the mid-roll.
Before we get into the headlines, just a quick reminder that April is Trust Month at CISO Series.
Not a big fan.
We've got some fun events lined up in April to talk about trust in cybersecurity, so stay tuned to the end of this episode for more details.
I low-key think that CISO Series put that in the front because we haven't been playing it on the back end, and I swear to God, that's why they did that.
From the CISO Series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, April 3rd, 2026. I'm Steve Prentice. 250,000 people affected by data breach at Texas hospital. This incident occurred at Nacogdoches Memorial Hospital in the city of Nacogdoches, Texas on January 31st. Hospital representatives state that a threat actor hacked into its internal network and information systems and, quote, likely accessed the information of 257,000 individuals, end quote, with potentially compromised data including standard PII as well as medical record numbers, account numbers, health plan beneficiary numbers, and photographs. The hospital has not named any potential suspects, nor have any claims yet been made.
All right, so this is a pretty standard approach. Number one, healthcare. Guys, if you work in healthcare, you absolutely have an elevated risk profile. Healthcare and manufacturing are getting punched in the throat repeatedly by threat actors. Now, this doesn't look like a traditional ransomware cyber criminal. If just based on the story of what I'm seeing, this looks like some kind of some poser like hacker who's like dabbling on the dark web, got some creds, logged in, exfilled some stuff. Not really well orchestrated as far as like the traditional professional criminal kill chain. The main attorney general's office is in here letting people know what's up. Again, not all heroes wear capes. This guy right here, I love this guy. His smile is infectious. We can this guy right here, Aaron Frey. He is the reason. And if you're listening on audio, just picture a dude who is absolutely happy to be crushing bad guys and letting people know when their civil rights have been infracted. That's not a real word, but I'm going to push it like it is. The content at Nacogdoches that got compromised is what you would expect: name, address, phone, email. So your basic contact information. But then we've got social, date of birth, and then some health insurance information. Not good that photographs are involved. They don't specify the photographs. These could range from a headshot to prove who you are for an ID badge, all the way to topless photos of women who are suffering or going through treatment for breast cancer. I know that sounds graphic, but that literally happened last year. So I don't want anybody to make assumptions like, oh, what's the big deal? Photograph. No, it could even be, unfortunately, it could be, and I don't know if I can say this on stream without getting the stream canceled, but like, adult abuse victims, criminal photos, like when they go to the hospital after being adult abused, and the photos need to be taken immediately, so for evidence, right? So it could range all over the place. All right, so this isn't just like oh man, I'm going to get fished. Like, this could have some serious repercussions for individuals. Now, remember, what really sucks about this is you, me, Jesse Johnson, Bubba, like we're the victims here, right? The hospital is going to pay the financial burden of like identifying us and hardening their systems, but like it's our information that's got compromised. So we're the ones who have to live with the lasting impact from it. If it was okay, so they say, hey, no evidence at this time that supports that information has been misused. Okay. If it was my business, this is a safe thing that you can say, right? The lawyers will probably make you say this. It is a true statement, but let's qualify this. Nacogdoches just got hacked. Okay. Now at the end of January, so it's been a few months. Okay. So they do have some information, but they have no evidence that this information's been misused. Where would they be getting information from? Do you think that they have like a full-time person working, checking to see if this information is being used on the dark web or for criminal activity? No, criminals operate in the shadows unless they're going to do a leak site and then openly show that they're selling it and stuff. So for me, I always get a little like, meh, when I see these statements, because they always say it, but like, of course they have no evidence. In my opinion, they're not really looking. Okay. Makes me think of Big Lebowski. All right. Here's a drink comment. Big Lebowski and Bubba. I feel like Bubba's a first timer here. Bubba, we do 80s, 90s pop culture references quite a bit here. In Big Lebowski, when he's asking if the police have found his car, and the cop starts laughing in his face and telling him that they're working in shifts on it. That's like what I'm seeing here. Like the hospital's working in shifts to see if this information's been compromised. As always, it is a best practice to I'll give you the following things. Best practice is to obviously harden your environment. They don't explain in any capacity here how the hack happened. Phishing, 0-day, misconfig. Like, there's no information here. This is a don't look at it sideways story because it'll disappear. But for practitioners in the chat, remember, guys, basic cyber hygiene is always important, like multi-factor authentication and conditional access and those things, but also tabletop exercises. We don't know how quickly this hospital responded when they detected the data breach. I mean, obviously the data was out the door, so they didn't act fast enough, but tabletop exercises to figure out who would do what, when, how. And of course, I don't have everybody. One mistake I see people make all the time is having one tabletop exercise to rule them all, like it's Lord of the Rings. My guy, you can't do that, because if you try to serve everybody, you serve nobody. What you need to do is have a tabletop exercise just for the IT team, tabletop exercise just for the executives, maybe a tabletop exercise with just the legal team. All right. And you don't have to. Another thing that people do that absolutely makes me want to like Hadouken, like throw a Ryu uppercut into, right, is they plan these like 4-hour or 8-hour offsite all day. They bring in pastries, they bring in lunch. Dude, no one is getting all up in tabletop exercises business for a full day. Everybody else has a full-time job. They want to get their work done. So, but like after lunch, people are like, I'm doing work. I'm important. I'm doing work. Yes. No, what you need to do is like a 90-minute or a 1-hour tabletop exercise. Get right to the meat, deliver value, and get the out of there. That's what you need to do. It's sticky. Just as a comparison, I don't know why I'm getting upset about this. As a comparison, think about this. If you were going to do end user awareness training or, information security awareness training, in your experience, my friend, and if you're new to cybersecurity, just listen, I'm not yelling directly at you. I'm like, sometimes my wife says, like, why are you yelling? Like, we're having a conversation and you're yelling. I'm like, I'm just passionate. End user awareness training. We make this mistake all the time. Hey, it's our once a year awareness training. So here's like 3 hours of PowerPoints and webinars and crap like that. Ugh, do you think that's effective? No. How about once a week you send an email with one point that takes 15 seconds to read and boom, it clicks. You build repetition, you build condition, you build all the things. If you do it once a year, you might as well not even send it to them and just check it off because you're going to get the same level of cyber risk reduction for your organization because the once a year, crack open the can of Dinty Moore beef stew, like the 1-gallon paint bucket pail, and just start feeding people InfoSec awareness. They're going to get full after like 2 bites, and then you're just going to be jamming carrots and potatoes and beef into their face, and it's going to be falling off. The carrots and beef in this story are awareness training modules, okay? I'm going to continue on. Thank you.
CISA says, patch Citrix netscaler bug by Thursday. Following up on a story we covered this week, CISA has now ordered federal agencies to patch the CVE-numbered bug by Thursday since reports of exploitation emerged over the weekend. This vulnerability impacts...
Hold on, really quick. Want to say what's up to Nintendude 11, my friend Nick. What's up, Nick? And yes, what's up to Nick's wife? I don't know why I yell. Listen, I'm from Boston area. I'm passionate, okay? And when I get passionate, my voice goes up. Not because I want people in the back to hear me. It's just because I'm super excited.
Citrix netscaler application delivery controllers used to manage traffic and authentication. It carries a severity score of 9.3 and has the hallmarks of Citrix Bleed and Citrix Bleed 2. Researchers uncover...
All right. CISA tells federal agencies to patch Citrix netscaler by Thursday. My guy, CISA has been telling federal agencies to patch Citrix netscaler all week and part of last week. This came out last week. Citrix netscaler, which can be found using Shodan in a lot of instances, has a vulnerability that can be exploited with great effect. It's a 9.3 CVSS score, which, we kind of dunk on CVSS scores nowadays, but let's look at the EPSS score. We got DJ BSEC's EPS tool. We're going to drop that in there. We're going to hit enter. I'll drop a link to this in chat right now if you want to use DJ BSEC. We use DJ BSEC and Barricade Cyber's EPSS tool interchangeably. All right, listen, this is gross. If you don't know how to read this, let me tell you. And for all the non-cyber people, you might want to chime in on this one because this one is pretty universal. EPSS score is like basically the likelihood of exploitation of this vulnerability in your environment, okay? Again, let me repeat that. The score that we just calculated is based on several factors, and the point of it is to tell you how likely you are to get exploited, which is really the big problem, right? You could have vulnerabilities for days, right? Like you could have your pants could be missing the back part of your pants, so your butt is hanging out, right? That's a massive vulnerability. And if you went to the mall, that would be bad. You'd be embarrassed. But if you're just walking around your house by yourself and your pants don't have a backside to them, is it really a problem? Is it? No. In fact, you might even argue it's more convenient because when you go to the bathroom, it's like you just kind of cut out the middleman there. So not all vulnerabilities are a problem. It's exploitability that we care about, and that's what that EPSS score goes for. Now, this one right here, this Citrix netscaler, my guy, you have a coin flip chance of getting exploited in the next 30 days. 44% chance. Dude, how many people we got in chat? 286 people in chat right now. Like 140 of you are likely to get exploited in the next 30 days. You know what I'm talking about? And how bad is it? Of all the vulnerabilities in the database of EPSS, 98th percentile. This is nasty. This is one of the worst ones, okay? So what can that tell us as practitioners? As practitioners, pause the video and go tell the IT team or the networking team, we got to patch this. This is urgent. You got to patch it. By the way, if you're new here, then I'm willing to look past that because maybe you didn't hear about this. But if you're a regular of the show, we've been talking about this all week. Today's Friday. I feel like I was talking about this last Thursday. Okay, so this shouldn't be as a surprise. So if you've been dragging your feet or you're like, I don't know, man. Like there's a new season of, I don't know, whatever Game of Thrones spinoff or Walking Dead spinoff. There's a new season out. I'll get to it when I get to it. Take this for action. Get this sorted out. You do not want to be a freaking statistic. Believe me.
Mining operation using ISO lures. Researchers from Elastic Security are warning of a financially motivated operation codenamed REF1695, which has been leveraging fake installers to deploy remote access Trojans and cryptocurrency miners since November of 2023. In addition to crypto mining, the threat actor, quote, monetizes infections through cost per action fraud, directing victims to content locker pages under the guise of software registration, end quote. These attacks leverage an ISO file as the infection vector to bypass Microsoft Defender's smart screen protections. A link to more details about this multi-level attack technique is available in the show notes to this episode.
All right, so I'm a little confused about this. This is research coming out of Varonis. Varonis is a well-known cybersecurity vendor. And how does this work? Okay, so Daniel Kelly, who's kind of like a known, like former not converted, but like rehabilitated cyber criminal, says traditional info stealers use to decrypt browser creds on the victim's machine by loading SQLite libraries and accessing cred stores directly before endpoint security tools adapted to flag that behavior. So really quick, first of all, I would suggest strongly never save your passwords or passkeys or secrets or anything into the browser password vault, right? Like when you type in a password, Wary Bite first timer, welcome to the party, Wary Bite.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I hope you have a good time, Wary Bite. So don't ever save your get a password vault like Bitwarden, LastPass, 1Password, KeyPass, any of those. I don't care. Choose your own adventure. Okay. So let's see how this new malware called Storm works. All right. It says here, I don't get it. So it ships like encrypted versions of the data to threat actor controlled infrastructure where it decrypts it. But there's a problem there. Like you can only decrypt it if you have the certificate or the key, which is, I'm not sure how they get in that. But everything attackers need to restore hijack sessions remotely and steal from their victims, like passwords, cookies, credit card, etc. Yeah, they go on to talk about the actual. All right, hold on one second. I don't research or prep these stories, and this story is kind of like lacking on how it works. All right, yep. If you're storing your crypto in your browser, that's not good. All right. I can't speak to this story, guys. I mean, it's a new piece of, browser-based extension malware that steals your creds in a way that bypasses whatever control Google Chrome introduced in version 127 from July 2024. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it to you to dig into this. All I can say about this is, number one, don't save anything in the browser as best you can, because it's not always super secure. Number two, obviously, this somehow gets on your machine by tricking you into thinking you're installing an application binary. Be leery of where you're getting files from. Be leery of updates and pop-ups that tell you need an extension and all that stuff. So, yeah, there is that. I don't have anything more on this particular story. I wish there was a little bit more meat on the bone. A lot of sizzle, not a lot of steak, but threat act. I guess the one kind of like lesson learned for people to take away from this also is that threat actors are constantly evolving and adapting to the defenses we put in place. This is an example of the cat and mouse game that we play in cybersecurity.
New Storm info stealer remotely decrypts stolen credentials. This particular warning comes from security researchers at Varonis, who say this new stealer malware harvests browser credentials, session cookies, and crypto wallets. Daniel Kelly, a senior security consultant at Varonis, says this new info stealer represents a shift in how credential theft is developing.
Did we just
Whereas traditional info stealers used to decrypt browser credentials on the victim's machine, endpoint security tools adapted to flag such malicious behavior. Storm instead sends encrypted files to its own infrastructure instead of decrypting them locally.
Hold on. Is there a glitch in the matrix? Am I high right now? Like, what? Didn't he just do this? Is Agent Smith going to kick in a hole in the wall right now? Like, what is going on?
It is also available for enterprising cyber criminals for less than $1,000 per month.
All right.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Security controls fail when they break the business. Successful teams phase in protections gradually, starting with visibility, then moving to enforcement. That approach allows organizations to reduce risk without overwhelming IT teams or disrupting critical workflows. Learn more at threatlocker.com.
All right. Hey, Bubba. Bubba, we do good times at the mid-roll, guys. It is the bottom of the hour. We're halfway through the show, if you can believe that. I hope you're enjoying it. Happy Good Friday, everybody. I know it can be tough on a holiday to get up and get here for the show. Very few holidays I take off. Not to say you have to be as insane as me. I'm a special kind of insane. That's what my mom told me. She said, "You're special." All right, guys. Hey, thanks to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, Flare. Genuinely appreciate all their support, and I appreciate all your support, squad members. Everyone who is a squad member, you are making a financial contribution to support the channel, so it doesn't go unnoticed, all right? I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Speaking of squad members and good times, every day of the week has a special segment, and James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet does dad jokes on Friday. This guy's been a longtime member of the Simply Cyber community. He did the jaw jacking yesterday, and he'll actually be on the panel later today. I'm going to go ahead and pause the music only so if I have to erase the segments of the show because of the music, because of copyright reasons, the people on replay will not miss the jokes. All right. So really quickly, here comes your jokes, everybody. And if you like the jokes, LOL in chat. And if you don't like the jokes or you want to groan, you can @ James McQuiggan. He's in chat live right now with us. Okay. Since it's April Fool's Day this week, here's some April Fool's dad jokes. And by the way, I don't read these in advance, so I'm getting them in real time. Why don't chickens play pranks on April Fool's Day? Why don't chickens play pranks on April Fool's Days? Well, it's because they don't engage in foul play. Very, 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 very policy following conformist, those chickens. They don't engage in foul play. Why did the math book look sad on April Fool's Day? Why did the math book look sad on April Fool's Day? Because, unfortunately, even though it's a hilarious day to have good times, the math book had too many problems. Too many problems. All right. And finally, how do you keep an April Fool in suspense? Oh, my God. How do you keep an April Fool in suspense? He said, don't worry, Jerry. I'll tell you next week. Oh, all right. That is your James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Jokes of the week. Let's go ahead and scrub on down to the laws. Guys, it's Friday. We worked hard all week. We made it to the weekend. We still got to power through today. But let's let the laws wash over us in an awesome way. Set the tone. Everyone's in store for a great day today. You're starting it right with the Simply Cyber community. Let's go. I'm going to let this wash over me. I'm getting a haircut today. All right. Hey, I want to say what's up to at 24K Levi. At 24K Levi says first time or catching the show live. Welcome to the party, pal. 24K Levi. Love it. All right, guys, let's finish strong. Looks like we lost Bubba. I tried to tag him in chat. He's not here. Ooh, Trey Black 1, member 21 months. Bring back the skullet cut. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm going to go with the more traditional. And real quick, I guess I'll just, since we have a little bit of a pause really quickly. So we have a haircut guy, not a haircut fish. Okay. We have a haircut guy and me and the boys use them together. And my kid's hair is like, they're young. Like my son's 14. Like it's gotta be a certain way. But anyways, he's got to get his haircut on Fridays only because he doesn't want to go to school the next day on a fresh haircut. He needs 2 days for his hair to reach a certain coolness, I guess. I don't know. So it's only Fridays. And then we traveled a couple Fridays ago and then it was his birthday and like things didn't line up. So like I've been in like hair purgatory until today. Today's the big day, so I'm super pumped about it. I shouldn't be as excited, but when you're 40 plus years old, getting a haircut is kind of like what you circle on the calendar. That and doctor's appointments. All right, let's go.
UK Security Centre warns of hackers increasing WhatsApp and Signal attacks. This warning comes from the National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC, based in the UK, which has seen, quote, growing malicious activity from Russia-based actors using messaging apps to target high-risk individuals, end quote. This includes people working in government and politics, academia, journalism, and the legal profession. This has been an ongoing story for quite a while, but this March 31st report from the NCSC raises the stakes a little by both confirming the increase in activity and also adding China state-affiliated group APT-31 and hackers linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to the activities.
I will not be getting a mohawk. I'm too mainstream. I'm a conformist. I'm going to get the exact same haircut that I've gotten before. I'm not saying I'm as crazy as Steve Jobs, but like if I get the same haircut every time, it's a decision I don't have to spend any mental cycles on making, and I can just focus on other things. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. WhatsApp is getting targeted. Interesting that they mentioned Signal also being targeted. I want to remind everybody, in the world of cybersecurity or in the world of IT, okay, we have this thing called the OSI model. And I know, if you're a John Strand zealot like he's got strong opinions about this. But just for a mental model to have a conversation, a lot of this is the OSI stack, okay? And this is how like network traffic traverses between systems, and essentially the red button at the bottom, the red layer, this is like the bits and bytes on the wire. And then the orange layer is like the physical card plugged into your motherboard. And then the network and oh my God, the network and the transport layer, that's like the internet layer, like not the internet, but the network layer. And then the green ones is where like applications do things with the data that's inside of the packets. All right. So when we talk about attacking these messenger apps, they're like Signal is secure. Okay. So it's not really attacking any of this crap. It's attacking the human. Now, the WhatsApp one, I think, has had vulnerabilities. So let's investigate that. Let's investigate that. High-risk individuals are those who work or public status means that they have access to or influence sensitive information. Russian-based actors are using the message apps to target high-risk individuals. Remember, these messaging apps, whether it's iMessage, Signal, or whatever, Signal might be a little different, but like you can't stop someone from text messaging you. Once you get the message, you can report it as spam, you can block the caller, you can do all these things, but you can't necessarily stop them from, you don't have like an allow only list, right? So Russian-based threat actors are aware of this. So are Chinese-based threat actors. I'm sure American threat actors are doing this to adversaries of the United States as well. Let's see. So how is this manifest? Yes, thank you. Look at this. Dude, Dan Reardon, this guy has a meme for everything. I mentioned John Strand. This is the guy doing the SOC core skills course next week. OSI model versus the 4-layer model. John has strong opinions on this, and they're warranted opinions. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just... All right, so how do the threat actors do this? They send malicious links and QR codes to steal account details or install malware. Now, the QR code is interesting because if you send me a message with a QR code on my phone, I can't take a picture of it, right? I can't use my camera to take a picture of my display. I mean, obviously, a lot of these apps you can have installed across multiple endpoints, right? Tablet, laptop, etc. Guys, this is social engineering all day, every day, okay? It doesn't matter if you have a QR code, you've got the fanciest, bit.ly link, whatever. Please, for your own benefit and for your end users' benefit, it's simple. Educate your end users. Like if you get a phone call from a number you don't recognize, don't pick it up. If you get a text message from something you don't recognize, don't respond to it. Simple. No one, like, dude, come on. Who is like sending you messages that you don't know with links to download things or QR codes, right? And I'm sure they're being clever. Maybe they're saying, oh, hey, like there's a patch for your software. Go download it. Or, hey, you're going to get your bank account robbed unless you do something. Or we're requiring you to install MFA. So click here to install it. Whatever the tricks are, whoever you get the message from, respond out of band, right? If it's a text message from your bank saying that your bank account balance is now 0 because you've been robbed, don't reply to that. Call your bank, confirm out of band. It's as simple as that. Dude, so many people are falling for this. Otherwise, state-sponsored threat actors wouldn't be doing it.
Criminals taught to exploit vacant homes in hybrid cybercrime technique. Online fraud tutorials are now teaching hackers how to exploit publicly available data, weak identity verification processes, and operational gaps to, quote, identify and exploit vacant residential properties to intercept sensitive mail for the purposes of enabling identity theft and financial fraud, end quote. These real residential, temporarily unoccupied properties can be used to receive mail without immediately alerting the rightful occupants. In the tutorial, threat actors learn how to search real estate platforms such as Zillow, Rightmove or Zoopla, filtering for recently listed rental properties as well as older listings to identify properties that have remained unoccupied for extended periods, increasing their reliability as drop locations. In some cases, threat actors even recommend physically maintaining abandoned properties to make them appear occupied, reducing the risk of drawing attention while using the address for fraudulent purposes.
All right. I mean, this is cool. Like, I mean, cool in the sense that, like, shout out to threat actors for having pretty cool operational things. Again, I'm not promoting or condoning cybercrime. I'm not into that. Like, the whole function of our industry and our job is to prevent it. But as an academic, I do, game recognizes game. And this is like a clever move. Okay. So for all the flaming donkeys out there,
Thank you for recognizing the game.
all right, so check it out. Guys, we can find vacant properties all over the place. We are living in a dystopian hellscape as far as like people having like high interest rate mortgages because of the economy and then not being able to pay, people having investment properties, right? Oh, make passive income, 8 figures. Like all these YouTube gurus telling you like the easiest way to make passive income, just take $1 million and put it in a bank account and live off the interest. It's like, my guy, I think we're forgetting step one where we get the $1 million. But vacant properties abound. We can use things like Zillow, Redfin, maybe even like whatever, to find properties that have gone up for sale, and then basically you can have mail sent to them. Now, what's the benefit of having mail sent there? Well, if you buy stuff like, I don't know, drugs from the dark web marketplaces, guess what? It's not a good idea? Having it sent to your own house. That is called a that is called a tether, and it provides law enforcement the ability to come to your house right afterwards. Again, I'm not into cybercrime. This isn't Threat Actor Academy. All I'm saying is if you have it shipped to an address that's not yours, you still have to physically go pick it up and commit a federal crime in the United States because you're not allowed to access someone else's mailbox and steal their mail, although you could technically argue it was sent to you. But yeah, if you're buying fulls, if you're buying, a fully loaded hardware that's got like, stuff in there. Threat actors recommend physically maintaining abandoned properties to make them appear occupied. All right. I mean, if you got an abandoned property and you got someone out there mowing it, that's an indicator. Okay. Users can submit a permanent or temporary change of address request online, enabling mail to be forwarded to a new location for several weeks up to 12 months. I guess the thing is, like, sure. Here's my thing. This will work. This is a process of, at least in the United States, I don't know how they do this in other countries, that could be abused. It's slow. It's snail mail. It does introduce a risk to the threat actor or to the criminal because they will have to physically at some point go into a post office and fill out paperwork. They'll have to physically go to the mailbox of the abandoned property to pick up things. They may run into people. They may run into law enforcement. So part of the benefit or the part of the appeal of being a cyber criminal is that you have an abstraction between you and risk, right? You live in Eastern Europe and you hack someone in California and they catch you and they're pissed off. Guess what? No big deal. They're not coming after you, right? Bulletproof hosting. You're fine. No big deal. You got someone who's mad at you in Malibu. All right. Now, fast forward. You have an abandoned property address sending some type of illicit material to a property in Malibu, and you physically go there, and the neighbor comes out and beats your ass, right? That's a problem that you're going to have to deal with. Also, sorry, I just swore. Okay. Also, one other thing I want to point out for everybody, refund scams, account takeovers, credit card fraud, verification, right? For, oh, hey, prove that you're a real person. Okay. The only other thing I want to mention to people right now is this. The idea that threat actors are providing tutorials and follow-alongs is not uncommon, and it increases the likelihood of, not the likelihood, but it increases the population of people willing to do this. It used to be like you were elite hacksaw if you could do these things, and people would like guard the information. Nowadays, we have things like Simply Cyber, Daniel Lowry's channel, Bowtie Security. Like, we have people sharing information and helping each other out all over the place. Criminals are doing it too. They write follow-alongs and tutorials, right? Here's how you do it. This used to be the Jolly Roger cookbook back in the 90s. They're still doing it. And in a lot of instances, these malware as a service platforms, when you buy their tool for $1,000 a month, they will give you a Word document or a PDF that shows you how to execute it. It's a full service customer experience, right? Like, we don't want you to just buy our goods. We want you to have a great experience. 5-star on Yelp. So you'll see these things. I've actually had some friends tell me who work in IR that they have gotten on a box before. Hayden Covington might even be able to comment on this. Gotten on a box before and found the tutorial. So the threat actor basically uploaded the Word document that explains to them how to run the malware and how to use it and where to go and everything, and then forgot to delete it. I don't even know why they uploaded it, frankly. That just speaks to their technical acumen. But like finding the tutorial on the victim machine. TLDR, this is a real thing. Be mindful of it. I don't really know how you stop it, right? This is just more of a story about threat actor methodology and threat actor procedure.
Nissan says stolen data came from third-party vendor. Japanese automaker Nissan has stated that, quote, recent claims of a data breach were related to information held by a third-party vendor, end quote. This follows an announcement from the Everest hacking group, which said it had breached the file transfer system used by a company that offers services to Nissan and Infiniti dealerships across North America. The group claims to be in possession of 910 gigabytes of stolen data, including information on customers, dealerships, and loans offered to car buyers. Nissan reiterated that it had found no indication that Nissan systems were compromised or that any Nissan customer information was accessed or put at risk.
Okay, so two things here. I love this last paragraph. Despite financial troubles, Nissan reported net sales of $79 billion in 2024. $79 billion. Okay, like, what is the GDP of Cameroon? Cameroon's GDP is $60 billion. So Nissan Motor Company is worth more than the entire country of Cameroon. Okay, so don't cry me a river, Nissan. Like, you know what? Like, I was a big fan of the Z series of 240Zs, 280Zs. You had a good run with Datsun. You make a great car, but like, don't. Okay, here's what I would say about this one. Okay, third-party risk. You all heard the story. This isn't really anything too crazy. The one thing I would point out, and it's worth noting, is that, and you can use this if you work at a larger company for your tabletop exercises. Do you see the story? Well, you don't if you're listening on an audio podcast, but the story title says Nissan says stolen data came from, et cetera, et cetera. So Nissan, what's the third party company's name? Guess what? You don't know because they didn't say it. That's the problem. So Nissan did nothing wrong. Nissan's systems were not compromised. Nissan did all the right things. Nissan invested in cybersecurity. However, story breaks, sensitive information gets hacked and leaked, and Nissan is in the headlines. You see what I'm saying? So like, this is another like kind of ancillary impact from third-party data breaches, where even though you did nothing wrong, because you're the big dog in the room, you're the anchor, and it makes for better, basically news click, right? Click through, like click for the metrics for the algorithm. Like if this story said, for example, like, whatever, give me a stupid name, like Marketing Group Inc. says stolen data of automotive client hacked, right? Like if you swap it, so it's like the third party companies in the story and Nissan is just referred to as automaker, no one's clicking on it, no one's talking about it, right? So be mindful. When you talk to your legal team and you talk to your comms team and your PR people and your executives, like use that as part of the scenario. Hey, listen, we outsource this stuff to this marketing firm or to this rev gen firm or to this whatever merger and acquisition team or whatever, and it gets breached and we're in the news, right?
Threat actors impersonate CERT-UA to spread malware. The Computer Emergency Response Team of Ukraine, CERT-UA, has itself revealed details of a phishing campaign that once again has impersonated the agency, this time to distribute a rat called AgeWheeze. The campaign was carried out by a group known as UAC0255, which urged recipients to install specialized software. These recipients include state organizations, medical centers, security companies, educational institutions, financial institutions, and software development companies. If you're listening to...
All right. Okay, so really quick, this is not a attack that is unique in any way. And we've actually seen Russian-based threat actors do this last year. I want to say like in the fall, at least, like maybe November, December timeframe. The CERT-UA and just CERT is Computer Emergency Response Team or Cyber Emergency Response Team. I think it's computer. Community Emergency Response Team or Computer Emergency Response Team. Okay. I think it's Computer Emergency Response Team. Okay. So the idea is this is like basically think of like CISA, the way CISA in the United States provides like, I guess threat intelligence, like, oh, hey, we're seeing an uptick in activity and bad guys doing X, Y, and Z on these particular things. Or, hey, like there's an active campaign of Eternal Blue getting absolutely popped right now. You got to take action. Okay. So CERT is like almost like an emergency responder kind of situation. So when you get communications from CERT, if you are signed up for it, you typically take action right away. It's a way to like, from a social engineering perspective, it's a way to kind of short circuit the recipient of that information and have them, freak out basically and take action. Russia knows this, and they have been impersonating CERT-UA. Likely, I can't read Cyrillic or whatever this is, Ukrainian. And I hate to, I'm sorry, I sound like an ignorant American, but like, I don't know what you call this. I'll call it Cyrillic. People are freaking out, and unfortunately, it results in victims downloading zip archives, right? They're being told that the tool itself is designed to protect them. In reality, it's designed to infect them. Another classic move. I don't know many people in the community that are actively working to protect Ukraine. Not to say you're not standing with Ukraine. I just mean like you're not physically in Kiev manning the keyboard of inbound threats. So nothing really to do here. All I would say is this targets cybersecurity professionals and IT people. So we have an opportunity here to learn from this and not be victims ourselves. Imagine, if you will, later today, you get an email from CISA or from, the US CERT saying, hey, like, just want to reach out. Like, we've seen an active threat against your company, like specifically your company. And we're reaching out to all individuals we know working at your company that you have moments before you're about to get punched in the grill. We have developed some type of like defensive capability or an inoculation. Run it on your endpoints and you will protect yourself or something, right? I know that's like kind of a clunky scenario, but if you're freaking out and you're told you only have minutes before your entire infrastructure is about to get melted to the ground, you might take action. Okay. So especially if it looks like it's legitimately coming from CISA, just like this one legitimately looks like it's coming from CERT. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the show, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. All right. Thank God. I mean, it's Good Friday, so I think we have fewer people here today. I didn't know. We barely crested 300 active listeners, which is like a first for Daily Cyber Threat Brief. So I'm going to go ahead and suggest that it was probably because of the holiday. Hopefully, either that or people are just sick of me, or they're like, oh, that's not Jerry. Look at his hair. Either way, I hope you had a great show, a great experience. All the first timers, I hope you come back on Monday. We're here every day. I know it's Easter Monday, and I guess that's a federal holiday. I don't know. Ever since I started working for myself, there are no holidays, sadly. So I'll be here on Monday morning. If you want to come high five, hang out, and get your threat feeds, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere, because we are about to pivot like Ross and Friends over to Cyber Mentor Sessions, the working title for the jaw jacking. We're working on changing that name to be more descriptive for everybody. Basically, we're going to bring on cybersecurity professionals with tons of experience and a lot of interest in mentoring people. You got questions, we've got answers. Come on down. We'll do about 30 minutes today, and then we'll bang out for the weekend. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Till next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw jacking. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Cyber Mentor Sessions, aka Jaw Jacking, as we make the transition in title. I'm your host, Jerry Guy, 2 thumbs, all smiles, ready for a Johnny Be Good Friday. Am I right? If you caught the beginning of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, we did play Johnny Be Good to get started. I figured Johnny Be Good, Good Friday. Who's winning here? We are. This segment of the show does have panelists because it is Friday, and we are going to be bringing on some juggernauts in the industry. Also, shout out to the women of Simply Cyber. We're going to be bringing on some women panelists starting next week that I'm super pumped about. So thank you to the women of Simply Cyber and Chimera Gonzalez for kind of spearheading that effort. First, you've seen him before. You're going to see him again. This guy is new to the community, but making massive impacts. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowtie Security's Robert. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Jerry? Hello, everyone.
Good to see you. All right, coming to you live on the road, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Dad joke extraordinaire. Hey, James. You are on mute, sir.
There we go. It's always on mute. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Morning.
Hey, question for the community and for the panelists. Did we say you're still on mute pre-COVID? Like, was that a thing? Like, I feel like COVID introduced like everybody doing everything all the time on Zoom and stuff. I don't ever remember being like, you're on mute. Like pre-COVID.
No, it happened before, but it didn't. It became prominent during COVID because everybody was on video chats. I remember having video chats prior to COVID.
Oh yeah, no, definitely had the video chats. I just don't remember like having so many people didn't realize they're on mute. All right, so guys, we are at this is a Cyber Mentor session. It's very simple. Between the three of us, we probably have about 60 to 70 years of industry experience.
We are seasoned.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you the pie breakout chart on that. I'll just trust me on this one. James, you are on travel at conferences. Why don't you share while the questions get queued up? And if you have a question, put it in chat with a Q. Why don't you talk a little bit about where you are and if people are in the area, how they might get engaged?
I am in the wonderful city of Milwaukee, right? Here in Wisconsin.
Algonquin for the good land.
And I just spent the last 2 days here at CypherCon, which you could call as Hacker Spring Break. You know, we all know about Hacker Summer Camp, but CypherCon is the place for Hacker Spring Break. Really great sessions. I'm actually in the middle of writing up a recap post for it. But today, tagged, as other B-Sides conferences occur, they're always attached with other events. Today is B-Sides Milwaukee, and our very own Team Simply Cyber, Josh Mason, is delivering the keynote. So I've got to make a hard getaway at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 here to get over and see him deliver his keynote at 8:45. Real excited. Got to hang out with Josh this week and meet some other Simply Cyber folks, and a couple people came up to me and said, "Hey, I've seen you on Simply Cyber." So that was really, really cool. And of course, I got to hang out with Michelle Kahn. He did it. He delivered the keynote for CypherCon on Wednesday. Great talk, and great hanging out with him. And yeah, so it's been good. This Saturday, oh well, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's been good. I head home tonight, and I got more events to do this week and in 2 weeks. So the fun doesn't
love
stop.
it. I love it. And just congratulations to Josh Mason. Josh has been actively very busy. He's increased his frequency of online social posting, building that personal brand, and keynoting a conference is certainly another feather in the cap on for what he's doing. And obviously huge Michelle fan. Michelle Khan actually just released a video on Michelle Khan's YouTube channel on it's like discovering a masked magic guy on YouTube. It's awesome. It's an awesome video. Itchy Beef wants to know, has anyone been to the B-Sides Pensacola conference in Florida? James, you're a Florida native without doxing you too badly. What is there a B-Sides Pensacola, and do you know anything about it?
I have no doubt there's a B-Sides Pensacola. I have not been to it. Pensacola for me is quite the run. People don't realize that Florida, while it's narrow, it's really long, and it's 10 hours all the way around. I haven't been to Pensacola, even though I've been to visit it several times, but I'm sure there is one. But if there's a B-Sides anywhere in your community, go check it out.
Go as a volunteer if you are new to cyber, trying to get into cyber. Like, they need help, and you'll get to hang out with people a lot longer. You'll get to meet a lot of people, and that's where opportunities happen.
Funky Monk wants to know, Robert. He says, we're not saving passwords in browsers. Do y'all feel that goes for browsers on iPhones as well? Not Safari, of course. Robert, thoughts on browsers? Browser-based password saving, and then you kind of run across the tech stack to include iPhone, please.
Yeah, so I mean, I honestly, the Safari browser is the password keeper that's on there is fully encrypted at rest. It's not something that I would say don't use. I personally utilize Password Keeper, so you can use LastPass, you can use 1Password, you can use any of them. Primarily just because you don't want the same password on every website.
Right.
Google's browser also is encrypted at rest. So if you're storing passwords in your Google browser, I also don't see too much of an issue with that. Now, granted, in the past, and we're talking like years ago, there were like cache session stealings and things that happened within Google where people were able to gain access, but Google got smart. I don't think Edge actually encrypts, but I do know Google and Safari do. But yeah, my recommendation is always a password keeper. Keep it separate. Utilize a password keeper for everything. That way you never have just one password across multiple things. I think it's something like 89% of people reuse passwords across multiple websites.
Gross.
So if you have the opportunity to use a password keeper, that's the best part, because if one account gets compromised, you don't have to really worry about it popping a bunch of others, because the second your account is compromised, the attackers will use it across all known websites. They'll try to log into Netflix, they'll try to log into that. And I know that from personal experience working with victims, how quickly that happens, where their bank account gets popped, then their Netflix, their Uber, everything else without it associated with that password gets compromised.
Yeah. Next question. Space Taco says, is the first Friday bingo game beneficially retired? I think so, Space Tacos. We had fun run with it, but it's a lot of it. I know it seems easy. It's a lot. It's a lift. There's a lift there, and I'm trying to streamline things so I can focus on doing more things better than more things in general. But I do want to remind everybody, thank you, Space Tacos. I don't know if you know this, but you inadvertently reminded me. We do a First Friday live mentoring session on the Simply Cyber Discord server at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. I'm almost positive it's 1 p.m. mods. If you can fact check me on that one. Yeah, it's 1 p.m. And basically what that is, we're live right now. We're streaming across YouTube and LinkedIn. Maybe you don't want to share something. Maybe it's sensitive. Maybe you're embarrassed. Maybe you're just like, whatever. Maybe you can't. Maybe the timing's not right. Maybe you're on your phone or you're at work or whatever. So at 1 p.m. Eastern time, you can jump into a Discord chat channel and ask your question. It's not recorded. It's not filmed. It's nothing. It's very, very sent private. Okay, so go check that out. All right, boys. If someone accepts an offer that doesn't start for a few months, is it unprofessional for them to keep interviewing and potentially take another role that starts sooner? So in this instance, Escol07 got a job offer a few months from now. Should he keep interviewing? Let's run. This is a great panel question. Robert, please.
Yes. So I have worked with hundreds of people, and I have seen offer pulled 24 hours before they start. I've had people move across country and have the offers pulled when they moved after they already signed a lease. When I got my job offer for the company I currently work at now, I continued interviewing, continued accepting offers, and continued challenging it until I hit 90 days. And I'm telling you this because that 90-day period, a lot of companies is kind of the sweet zone that makes it so they can get rid of you relatively quickly with limited headache. And you want to at least be there 90 days. So I say, and I've done videos on this too on my YouTube, like keep interviewing even after you've gotten the job and even after you've started the job for at least 90 days, because this market is so weird. You're looking at, for every $10,000 that you want to make is going to take you at least a month of hunting. So if you want to make 80 grand, like you're going to be spending at least 8 months trying to find an opportunity.
All right. James, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with Robert in that sense. You know, if you've got a couple months, you've got to, bring in some income. You got to do what's best for you. You've got to work for you, be your own CEO. If it's, you could start working for them and 3 days in, they go, yep, nope, we've had a change. I've heard, Robert's heard dozens and I've heard a couple, but it does happen. You've got to take care of you. It's, if it does come along and it works out better. Yeah.
And it happens with huge names too. Facebook has done it. Not CrowdStrike, Coinbase did it. And they send out emails. Like my buddy got a job at Facebook, was moved to San Francisco, and got an email that said, hey, sorry, this offer has been pulled. And it's in your contract. It even states that there's a probational period. And a lot of times it'll state that this offer can be pulled prior to your start date at any time.
Yeah, it's a gross reality of industry. And honestly, it's an abuse of the power dynamic of we have the juice and you want what we have. We got a couple more folks joining us. This is great. The panel is getting fat today. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ B-Sec coming in hot.
Woo! All right. Coming in on mute. Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, now does my mic work?
Yeah, we got
you're good.
Maybe just restream didn't pick up that mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are also blessed to be joined by one other panelist. This is wild. Thank you for making some time. This guy has been all over the place doing webcasts and speaking at events. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this rare opportunity. Haircut Fish has joined the panel.
Hey, how's it going? I see DJ B-Sec made it out of his prison.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Good Friday. He was given a reprieve, I suppose. Cool.
I told Justin I jumped the fence.
Jump the fence. All right. Hey, this is Cyber Mentor session. So if you want to get a question answered, put it in chat and drop it, and I will facilitate. We just talked about, so I'm going to throw this to Ben first. We just talked about continuing interview even after you've been given a job offer. Ross the Boss says, are you potentially burning bridges with those companies you ultimately do not accept an offer from? DJ B-Sec, let's say you accept you issue a offer letter to someone and they decline the offer. How do you feel as the employer? Bring that perspective.
I mean, yeah, because you spent time sitting there going through however many individuals you did, and then the one that you do give the offer to turns around and is like, oh, never mind, I already found something else. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say the bridge is a little bit burned. You're a little bit hurt as the employer that's trying to bring somebody in, because now you have to turn around and do the same thing again. Maybe pick one of the candidates that you weren't necessarily too high on. But I mean, that's the world goes around and around. That's what it is.
All right, yeah, and I don't know. I think if you're tactful with it, it can be managed well. Like, oh, like, hey, really appreciate this offer. As you can assume, I'm actively job hunting, and I have a final interview tomorrow with another company. I'm evaluating my options, and be polite, right? This job you just offered me is phenomenal. I do need to give consideration because I need to do what's best for my family and for my career. I'm sure you understand, right? Kind of like not I'm not saying manipulate the person, not manipulate the DJ B-Sex of the world, but be kind of
just be straightforward with them. Let them know.
Yeah, because dude, the person who they're a human that is talking to you, like they, get jobs and do the whole thing, and they understand the market.
And if I'm going to hire you for $100 and somebody else is going to hire you for 110, I mean, I would turn around and do the same thing, right? I'd go for the 110.
Right, exactly. All right. Looks like I don't know if Wade Wells wants to come on. He said he wants to be here. I sent him the link. We'll see if he can join us. All right, next question coming in hot. Nick Dixon says, I met a CCNA tech once. You worked in the Middle East for some contract jobs that got paid handsomely. Are you guys familiar with any jobs like that? I'm not. Haircut Fish. Anyone know anything about any contract work overseas?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk to that. So I've worked with a lot of people who do contract work for different government organizations. We'll just kind of leave it there. It does pay really well. The other cool thing is they pay for your housing, they pay for your food. There's a lot of perks that go with it. And when you're in that country, a lot of times there's no taxes. So there's a reason it becomes so lucrative. They're not as often as you see. You don't see them as often as you used to. And normally it does require some sort of clearance. So like they normally go to people who have a TS already or something where they can just hit the ground running. They don't tend to invest in people to pay for their top secret clearance. So it's normally like if you have it from another job, you maybe lose your opportunity. Definitely apply for those because they can be very lucrative. I know several friends who've done it for 4 or 5 years and then retired.
I love it. Also, I want to point out something. This is a personal little business here. So I would say if like you're young or you're single or whatever, like this might be really good to like cash in. But I would strongly encourage you to do the due diligence to understand the culture of where you're going. And I want to give a personal story really quickly. I'm not going to name the country. I'm not going to name the company or anything like that. I will just tell you in 2012, I believe it was, I was offered a ridiculous amount of money, like a stupid amount of money to move to a country, to move somewhere else in the world. And they said, you have to agree to a year minimum. And I was like, okay, which would mean like either my wife and sons, I only had one kid at the time, my wife and son stay for a year, or they move in with their parents, or they come with us. And we really didn't want to spend a year apart, especially because we just had a kid. And it was like, that's like the best time to be around. And the area that we were going to go is not super friendly to women. And those who may or may not know, my wife is not Caucasian. They're not super nice to that demographic. So for it didn't matter what the amount of money was. That was an absolute deal breaker. So just, you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're chasing the money and you end up putting yourself into a bad like day-to-day life situation. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, a lot of the ones that pay really well too are not in safe countries at the time. So it's you're getting paid a hazard pay, so to speak.
There's that too. There is that too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're into a 1-year gig and like a conflict breaks out, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like any other, like a job that you're looking for. You want to look into what you're doing, where you're going. Is that company the right fit for you? And so you can take those same skills and apply it to this. Where I'm going to be living for this time, is it friendly to people of your ethnicity? Like you want to be looking at that stuff. That way you're not going blindly, and then it's like, oh crap, this is really scary.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. Dan Scuzzy says, I'm job searching and just passed the SANS incident handler course. Very interested in forensics. Any tips for standing out or anything else that he should be doing to highlight those skills, he or she?
The one thing that I always like to push is if you don't already either have a blog, start one that you are going over what you're learning and document the steps you take. And that includes document maybe rabbit holes you went down, because that shows that you're not just putting out the absolute best. You're showing where you did have pitfalls, but then you learned. Like, don't just put, oh yeah, I fell down this. So I always like to say, have a blog. If you don't have a blog, get a GitHub up. Get something out there so that you're demonstrating what you're learning, and it's a public resource that any potential employer can look to.
I love it. Thank you very much. James McQuiggan's got, he's a busy man. James, sign off, please.
Yeah, got to head out, guys. Going to go see Josh Mason deliver his keynote over at B-Sides Milwaukee. But everybody have yourself an awesome weekend. What a great panel to be on. Sorry I can't stick around, but, got to go share the love with fellow team Simply Cyber. So everybody take care. I'll see you all next week. Thanks, Jared.
Yeah,
see you guys
pleasure.
later.
All right. I'm going to text Josh Mason right now and tell him enjoy the experience. We've got a big Texas. Here. Yeah, James, you can just, there you go. See you later, James. We got a big Texas thing coming in. Going to Dallas Monday.
Ooh.
Terry Black's Barbecue and JFK Museum. What else? Rich 464 is asking. And is Houston like even near Dallas or okay?
No.
5 hours, man. 5 hours.
You freaking Texas people. All right. Well,
it's a 5-hour drive.
Does anybody have anything to do in Dallas? The only thing I know in Dallas is that the friggin' freeway is like 16 lanes wide.
No, Dallas freeways suck. The roads up there are horrible. They're always under construction. There's really not a lot to do there, so to say. Everything's outside the city. If you have enough time, you could always hop down to Waco. I say hop down. It's probably about a 2-hour drive. You could hop down to Waco and go see some of, like, there's Dr. Pepper museums. There's some cool stuff in Waco, but Dallas in itself is it's become a tech hub, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff there.
It's like there's a lot of companies there. That's about all there is.
I think they just got the New York Stock Exchange there, right? They got that from Chicago. But yeah, I mean, Dallas is Dallas. Dallas and Fort Worth. You can go to the Fort Worth Stockyards. That's always something that everybody wants to go to, so you go there.
There's a museum of art in Dallas. I just Googled it. I like going to...
There's a museum of art in every big city, Jared.
Okay. I like going to Museum of Arts. Okay. All right. So Ms. Wolverine says, I couldn't work for a couple of years for health reasons and now switching careers because of it. How should you handle this when applying for jobs? Robert, why don't you take this first, and we'll go around the horn because everybody's kind of bringing a different perspective on this one.
Yeah, this is where honesty comes in, but don't be too honest. A lot of gaps in resumes now we look at as just assuming someone got laid off. I don't dig into them too deep because it's so common. I would say out of the 150 or so resumes I've reviewed, almost all of them have a gap of a year, a few months, or several years. So I wouldn't stress too much, but if they ask, just say that you had taken time off to take care of some family issues. There's no reason to dig into it. They don't need to know your health concerns. Remember, an interview is not like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's like chatting with your buddy. Well, it is, but like, you still need to keep your guard up. Like, you don't want to give anybody any ammunition to basically be like, oh, well, this person's got a bunch of health issues, I'm not going to hire them. Just be honest to an extent, but don't kind of overshare. I always try to say, keep it short and simple.
Yeah, that's perfect. I just to share silly, like, I kind of like self-sabotaged. I think I didn't really want the job. I interviewed for a chief privacy officer, and they were like, so like, what are your plans for this? I'm like, I mean, this is really a stopgap. I'm thinking 18 months, I could build out this entire program and have it operate. And at that point, you could put somebody who was like not beneath me, but like someone junior could manage what I've built. And after that, I'm probably going to go get a CISO job. And they're like, okay, we'll let you know. And when they told me, they were like, we really liked you as a candidate. You were our front runner. But when you said you were going to quit in 18 months, we figured that wasn't for us. And I was like, all right, so
the irony that companies want loyalty when they give none is still just really annoying to me. It's like, we want to know that you'll be here for at least 5 years. It's like, really, bro, you're going to terminate me in 90 days after a reorg. Like,
exactly. Like, yeah, the whole, I love that we have become self-aware as employees and as like humans, that like the whole like gold watch GM thing is trash.
That's dead. Yeah,
it is dead. All right.
So we had somebody in chat say that going from Houston to Dallas is not 5 hours. If you're doing 120, it is. So from Houston to Dallas is 253 miles, and you average about 75 miles an hour. Add in traffic, it's definitely 5 hours. I've done it multiple times.
All right. There, took it personal. All right, Real Bilbo,
personal was right.
my friend Bill Boston says, will AI take all our jobs, or will AI be another tool in the Swiss Army knife that helps junior skilled practitioners level up? All right, Dan Reardon, where do you stand on this?
I want to say, depending on it, are you implementing it? Like, that's the key for the junior practitioner. If you are not implementing it, you're probably not going to get the job. You need to use it in some way, shape, or form to augment what you are doing, or augment your learning process so that you can score the job. And then once you are in there, use it, not with client information. Please do not put that in there. But use it to help your daily work. Like, if you come across something you're not sure, I use mine as like a search engine. Essentially, it's like, hey, I got this. What's it doing exactly? And like, explain it to me, and like, use that as learning. Don't just also be like, oh, okay, here's the answer. There's the answer. Like, use it as a learning process. Eventually taking jobs, it's hard to say. I mean, AI takes a lot of power and resources. And I think it's going to get to a point where it might cost more to use AI in some of these aspects than it is to just pay somebody to sit there and do the job.
Nice.
That's my hot take.
I like it. Elon's talking about data centers orbiting the Earth and with solar panels. DJ BSEC, AI taking our jobs or tool in the toolbox?
I think it's a combination, a little bit of both, because it depends on the job. I think you're going to see, I forget who it was. I was talking to somebody or saw something. You're going to see the job trend from being a triangle where you have a whole bunch of level 1 people to being more like a diamond, right? So there's not going to be as many people at level 1. You're going to have those mid ranges, tier 2, that's going to fill out a lot more because they can use AI to help them in their daily stuff, and then you'll pop up to your normal tier 3, tier 4, higher levels. But I mean, I don't think we're going to lose a lot of jobs. I just think the job is going to change in the sense of you're not going to have as many intro level jobs. AI will do the intro stuff, and then the people that have been around or that have the knowledge are going to use that to help them.
All right, and Robert,
but we've already shown that a lot of companies that have invested AI have kind of pulled that back. They realize that the solution's not everything that it's said to be. There's no actual evidence as of now that show a large percentage of jobs being taken by AI. Majority of the jobs that are being lost in the US are going overseas because they're less expensive. It really doesn't have much to do with AI. It's more of a tool in the toolbox. But I will say, to kind of back up what DJ BSEC said, like, there is a possibility that entry-level roles could be augmented or completely eliminated because, like, things like SOC analyst work and those jobs that I think a lot of aspiring cyber people look for have the potential to be replaced by AI, because that fatigue that happens with a SOC analyst of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting different results doesn't happen with AI. Like, so there's some there's some use cases where I think it makes sense, but then there's other use cases where it just simply doesn't. I joked with a recruiter yesterday because she is primarily hired for the last year all AI and machine learning roles. That is all she has filled. Like 80% of her recruiting company, that is the roles that they have filled, because that's what companies are looking for right now. And she goes, it's really interesting to me because we're basically training our replacements. And the people who are, I think, like exactly like DJ Bisek said, it's going to kind of get a lot more narrow at the bottom and be a lot harder for entry level.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of companies that are doing layoffs or have done layoffs in the past 5 months or so say that it's AI related. And
yeah, it's just an easy excuse to offshore a bunch of people and not get the political backlash.
Well, that and save some money. We're going to invest over here as opposed to over here.
This is like literally what happened in the early 2000s. There was the dot-com boom, and there was a massive move to offshore software development jobs to India specifically. I do want to share this one resource. I haven't dug into the algorithm or the calculations behind it, but it's a website, jobloss.ai. And this is supposed to be capturing as much as it possibly can accurately jobs that are tied to AI layoffs, not outsourcing, not downsizing, not RIFs. So I'll drop this in chat if you're interested. It's like one of those ones that I keep an eye on. There's another website I'll just share called layoffs.fyi. I like this one too. These are tech job layoffs, and you can see, because companies have to publicly disclose that they're about to lay off people, you could see like these companies fully went out of business, 100%. Zendesk laid off some people. Epic Games dropped 1,000 people. That was big news recently. So anyways, couple resources that I keep on my hot bar because I find them interesting, and I'm an absolute dork for raw data.
On this same topic, because it just came across the wire 18 minutes ago, the jobs came out, or the job market came out, and we apparently added 178,000 jobs in March. So
yeah,
maybe we're seeing it come back up. We'll see.
Yeah, keeping it apolitical here. Go ahead.
I like the figures you were showing where it showed the dates and the layoffs. Magically, there are no April 1st layoffs on that list. That would be people would probably wonder if they were actually true.
Yeah, that would be that would be problematic. That would be. Let's see. DJ, this is kind of in your wheelhouse-ish. Not really, but you are in Texas where they do oil stuff. I worked for an industrial company, steel and oil. Is it worth trying to see if they want cyber because they're lacking? He's new to cyber.
An industrial company and an oil refiner better already have that in place. So yes, I mean, reach out to them, but it should already be in place, especially an oil refinery, an oil company. 100% should already have that in place, because you definitely don't want your OT or anything like that to happen. We have already seen what happens when that goes awry.
Oh yeah.
And if you're looking for work, Chinese-based threat actors, APT-41, definitely, you could help out there. Robert, what degree or degrees, if you're feeling frisky, would you recommend to help break into GRC?
Oh man, you asked the wrong person.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'll ask me. I know the answer.
No, I mean, I will say that the degree helps, but it's not really the relationships, I think, are the key thing right now. Like GRC jobs, I recommend for a lot of people because they're not flashy. And they're not like, everyone wants to be an IR person or a pen tester. Nobody wants to do GRC or vulnerability management, which are the two spaces that Jerry and I love. So look for the jobs that nobody wants to do, but I would say just even a computer science degree would be fine. And what would you recommend, Jerry? Because I don't see anything as being like an extra boon where they'd be like, that guy's going to get hired over somebody else.
In full disclosure, I have a bachelor's and a master's in computer science, so take that as bias. But hold on. I think computer science is the best. Hold on one second. I got a phone call coming in from my wife.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Someone answer it, please.
Yep.
If you have a national clearance, what job could you potentially apply for? You can put apply for any job. I mean,
Yeah. So specifically for this one, look at the usjobs.org and multiple other places that have clearance jobs. The cool thing about clearance jobs is if they are government funded and you apply and you qualify, they legally have to interview you in most cases. So take your time and look to make sure you hit every qualification, and the odds are pretty high you'll get a call back. With all of the government furloughs, again, really expect that opportunity to go to a friend or a buddy who accepted a furlough payment or who got laid off during Doge. But it's all again about building those relationships and kind of having those conversations. Your clearance doesn't really give you anything different, except it gives you opportunities where you can apply for certain jobs that other people can't apply to.
Yeah, I think we say that all the time. It's all about your relationships and your networking.
Yep.
I don't think we can stress that enough, and I don't think people understand. Like they think, oh, if I go get a certification, if I go get my degree, if I go get this, then I should be able to get in. Well, 99% of the time, it's who you know that's going to help you get that job.
Yeah. Everyone I know that's gotten a job recently is put more time into networking and less time into applying.
Yeah.
Really quick, just shout out to Dream Logic, who says not having gel in my hair makes me look girly. Thank you.
I would almost put it in the sense of networking now is your resume.
I would agree. Yeah, no, your social skills and the way you present yourself and the way you can kind of tell a quick story are absolutely paramount and critical to finding an opportunity.
I was going to
Practice that 1 minute story, practice your elevator pitch. You never know who you're going to run into and be able to drop it on.
That's one of the biggest contributing factors to how I've gotten the job I'm at now, is because of networking. Like, yes, I put the work in there to learn what I could, but it's because I went to B-sides. I went to different conferences. I networked. I met people. And it's not like I'm going there to build my network. That's what I'm doing. No, essentially, you're going there to make friends in the community, make friends in cyber. And it's with those connections that you land these other roles.
Yeah, and you're going, just like Dan said, you're going to network, and once you go back home or go back to your workspace, guess what? Those 10 or 15 people that you just talked to, you now have somebody to reach out to if something comes up that you have no clue about.
Yep.
I love it. So Fred says, speaking of the right time, I think this is Fred from Ghana, by the way, Fred on. Is it always true not to travel, I think, or was it just the right time? Here's my thing. Like, everybody's got their own unique situation. Like, let's say that we just had a baby and I just got laid off and we desperately needed money or we were going to lose our house. Well, then it's like, I'll be back in a year. Like, it's going to suck. Go stay with your parents. I'll send money and pay the bills and everything. And let's just power through it. And a year, honestly, when you get older, a year, like my kid's 14. I'm like, what the hell? So you really got to choose your own adventure. Right. But for me, like, there's things that I'm not going to subject my wife to. And in this case, that was one of those things. So it's really your own decision based on whatever the factors are at the time.
Yeah. And I had the exact same opposite as Jerry, or opposite experience that Jerry did. Because when I was in my early 20s, I got asked to do a job. And it was literally every week flying somewhere and doing something else. I was single, didn't have much to do. So it fit the bill. So I was able to go do that stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, though. So if you need money and you don't have an option, take what options you have. Any opportunity in technology or anything that's even career adjacent, do it.
Yeah. And I also want to, I guess, be fully transparent, right? Of course, I try to strive for that with this community. Like, I had an opportunity to go to the South Pole in Antarctica several times. And that was like, you don't just go for the weekend. Like, it's like a 8-week trip and there's like boats and military aircraft and stuff. And to me, that's like a once in a lifetime thing. And my wife agreed. So like for that, I flew and like left my wife with a young child twice, with 2 children and, whatever. I went 3 times. And to me, that was the right call. It wasn't for necessarily money. It was for like this once in a lifetime opportunity because you can't really get to the South Pole unless a lot of things line up. So, in some instances, I do make the choice to do those things. So
you said 3 times. Do you have a timeshare down there or something?
Yeah.
yeah. The first time I went down, they talked to me. I got hooked into it. I'm renting it as an Airbnb. It should be fine. Just
that's his side hustle.
Yeah, I got side hustle. I got a YouTube channel about how to do it. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end here. Let's run around the horn and say some goodbyes. Robert, first off, bud, where can people get some more Robert, or what's going on, or what can we promote?
Yeah, Bowtie Security Guy on YouTube. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn too if you're looking for a mentor, or if you're struggling, or if you just need advice. Don't be offended if I send you a video because I've already answered the question. But yeah, that's it. We're trying to give back. We're trying to take the time to help. So all of us here are willing to kind of chat with you. If you have a question, feel free to reach out to any of us.
Thank you so much, DJ BSEC, live from on probation. What do we got?
Hey, I echo what Robert just said. Same thing. We're all of us are here to help. That's one of the reasons why we come when we can. Yeah, I'm in Discord. You can tag me in Discord if I have the chance to reply, I will. But yeah, that's it for me.
Dan Reardon, I know you've got a million things going on because you're just blasting around right now. What's up, dude?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I had my talk this week. Check it out. It's on YouTube under anti-siphon training. That was on the SOC soft skills. The coming up, I'm not sure when they're going to post it to YouTube, but my SOC Summit talk will also be on YouTube. But you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Discord. I try and like when people ask me questions, I try and answer them as much as or as quick as I can. I like to help out the community. I like to share my knowledge. So yeah, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I would probably answer quicker on Discord, but feel free to shoot me a message on LinkedIn as well.
There you go. So Haircut Fish, DJ BSEC, Bowtie Security. Just so everybody knows. And, the mentoring, we do this session, so it's a fixed point in time, but, the Discord is asynchronous and dynamic, so don't be shy with that. Speaking of mentoring and helping people just absolutely crush it, let's not sleep on this guy, Daniel Lowry, IRL. The show is going to keep going as friend of Simply Cyber and Team SC member. Daniel Lowry is going to be doing episode 73 of his IRL, doing a vibe code review of a vibe coded app. So nice. Mentoring with hands-on experience. This is cool. Love myself some Daniel. I've dropped a link and pinned it on YouTube chat, so you guys can go over there. That goes at 10 a.m. So maybe you go, freshen up your coffee, hit the head, grab a little fig bar or something, and then come on back, leave the computer going, and you'll be good to go. I want to say thank you to James McQuiggan, Daniel Lowry. James McQuiggan, Dan Reardon, DJ BSEC, a.k.a. Ben Sherrill, Bowtie Security, a.k.a. Robert Wetstein. Wetstein or Wetstein, Robert?
Wetstein.
Okay, Robert Wetstein. And
Bowtie Security Guy. Don't look up Bowtie Security. They got a bad rep.
And thank you to all of you, Simply Cyber community, hashtag Team SC. The show doesn't work without you. I genuinely appreciate you taking the time and engaging with all of us. Be well, everybody. And until next time, stay secure.